Good afternoon, people of the internet. This is your hot chocolate sipping, coast to coast skipping, newbie roller coaster enthusiast back with some updates for what's to come this summer. Or what could come. But Captain Marie, what do you mean? I mean, this summer, Kenny and I, as well as many other enthusiasts and friends, are making a plan that by the end of 2024, with the help of our platinum passes, of course, we are going to try to hit all Cedar Fair parks from California to Canada to the Carolinas. I'm only talking about the roller coaster home-based amusement parks, not water parks and other attractions such as Schlotterbands in Texas, and I'm sorry if I did not say it correctly, Cedar Point Sports Center in Ohio, or even Kings Dominion's Soak City section in Virginia. Our focus is to hit the Cedar Fair roller coaster amusement parks in the next 2 years, and maybe some other parks along the way, such as Dollywood, Silver Dollar City, Beach Bend, Mount Olympus, and more. Here's what we know. On the Cedar Fair's website, they list off 17 places to play, as well as 11 places to stay. But we are not looking at the places to stay and only 11 of the places to play, including California's Great America in Santa Clara, California, Canada's Wonderland in Vaughan, Ontario, Carowinds, which is listed as Charlotte, North Carolina, but don't be discouraged because it does extend between North and South Carolina, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, most of our home parks up here, Dorney Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania, Kings Dominion in Doswell, Virginia, Kings Island, and online it says Kings Island, Ohio, but it's actually Mason, Ohio. Knott's Berry Farm at Buena Park, California, Michigan's Adventure at Muskegon, Michigan, Valley Fair at Shakopee, Minnesota, and Worlds of Fun in Kansas City, Missouri. Before we continue with what we're going to plan or what we're looking at, I want to show you a site that might be helpful for some of you. Whether you may know it or not, this will be something you might like to see. This website is rcdb.com. This is known as the roller coaster database. So anytime you're unsure about a roller coaster or an amusement park's roller coasters and what they're going to bring on, this is a place to go. Right now I'm on the glossary. A lot of times you can look up to see if something is a roller coaster, a powered coaster, or a mountain coaster. What type it is, steel or wood, the scale of it, the design, the track layout. There's so much to it. And on this website, those little 3 arrows, you can click to see what's coming new in 2024, new for 2023. I'm doing this video in the year 2023, so new for 2022 is already done. They need to update it next. But if you're looking for a certain roller coaster, this would definitely be a place to go. Maybe you're looking for something that it contains, something that's existing, something that doesn't exist anymore. Is it under construction? Is it operating right now? Is it standing but not operating? Is it in storage, as in does it not exist? Because a lot of times they'll put in storage. When it opened, if it's closed, the location. So there's all sorts of things you can do. And it's not even just roller coasters. It's also amusement parks. So it'll ask you less questions. And you don't have to answer every single one of them if you're just trying to get a general list or a general idea. But we're going to use this to take a look at some of the parks that we're looking to travel to between the next 2 years. We're going to start in alphabetical order here. And this is one of the parks we're looking at to go to in 2024. It is known as California's Great America, located in Santa Clara, California. This amusement park is said to be shutting down in about 10 years. The reason being is there's been a lease debacle, how much it costs, and Cedar Fairs is looking to stop after the lease is up. So if you don't go to California's Great America before they shut down, you're going to miss out on an opportunity. I remember I went to Geauga Lake the last year they were open, and I wish I had more memories of it. I was really young when they shut down, and I'm just kind of glad I went the last year at least. This is something for anybody who likes roller coasters, who's getting into it, who wants to adventure, wants to explore. get here within the next 8 to 10 years, because I've been hearing this for a while. I don't know if that started back in 2020 or if that started in 2022. I say set a goal to go there before 2030, or at least by 2030. We're going to look at some of these roller coasters that they've got so far. We're not going to look so much at the defunct, but they've got a bunch of steel coasters with a couple wooden coasters, mostly extremes with 1 thrill and 2 families. Sometimes you got to make the judgment on your own, but you also got to look at the height. So we have Demon, Flight Deck, Gold Striker, Grizzly, Lucy's Krabby Cabbies, Patriot, Psycho Mouse, Railblazer, and Woodstock Express. And at one point, I do remember from our roller coaster draft, Gold Striker was chosen. And I'm going to give a little bit about Gold Striker. This wooden GCI coaster is a sit-down extreme. It has 850 riders per hour, 2 trains with 12 cars per train. Riders are arranged 2 across, single row, for a total of 24 riders per train. And here are some of the photos. So it's really easy to navigate RCDB. Gold Striker is based off of the mining gold rush in California. And it is an absolutely beautiful coaster. So I'll be super excited when I have the opportunity to get to ride it. For more information about this coaster, as I said, check out rcdb.com. Another ride is Demon, and you can see a demon face in the mountain. This is actually a really cool aerodynamics design here. It's an extreme coaster. It used to be turn of the century back in 1976 with originally 2 corkscrew loops. For the 1980 season, they added 2 vertical loops and gave it a demon theme. And I can understand why, because again, you're going into a mountain head that looks kind of like a demon. So there's a lot of old photos, a lot of new photos, and I really like that element. And you're going past a train track as well. I feel like Cedar Fairs, do they all have trains? Am I gonna find trains at every Cedar Fair I go to? But California's Great America. It looks absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. Some of these photos are older, as I said. Some of them are newer. Get there before they close down. It is definitely going to be an opportunity you're going to want to take. Next in line is Canada's Wonderland. This is in Vaughan, Ontario, Canada. And this is also a 2024 travel destination. You need your passport in order to get to Canada from the United States. I've got mine. Kenny's going to be in the process of getting his. They do have a new family coaster coming in 2023 called Snoopy's Racing Railway. It is based off of a design from another train-based roller coaster from Fantasiana. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it. It is not in the United States. It is from European countries. I did look at the ride it's based off of. It's absolutely beautiful. It's got gorgeous scenery around it. The design behind it and the engineering is going to be amazing. So I do want to say that when Snoopy's Racing Railway opens in 2023, I do want to see photos here on RCDB and online what it's going to look like. Because if it's anything like the photos I've seen for the coaster it's based off of, it's going to be absolutely beautiful, amazing, and definitely worth getting. This art engineering family launch coaster is train-based. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can already see it. That little design that it's got is really cute. So once again, it's opening in 2023 in Canada's Wonderland, and I'm absolutely certain it's going to be adorable. But Canada's Wonderland has a lot more coasters than California's Great Adventure. And we've got 17 coasters here between Thrill, Extreme, and Family. So we've got more of a spread out range, including rides such as Backlot Stunt Coaster, Bat, Behemoth, Dragonfire, Flight Deck, Fly, Ghoster Coaster, Leviathan, Mighty Canadian Mindbuster, Silver Streak, Taxi Jam. I do apologize, I got the hiccups. Thunder Run, Time Warp, Vortex, Wild Beast, Wonder Mountains Guardian, and Yukon Striker. We're going to take a look at two of the coasters listed, one of them being Yukon Striker and also being a draft pick. Yukon Striker opened in 2019. It's a B&M dive coaster. It is labeled as Extreme. It's got 3,625 feet in length, 223 feet in height, 245-foot drop, travels at 80.8 miles per hour, has 4 inversions, a 90-degree vertical angle, duration of 3 minutes 25 seconds. And I'm not going to keep reading down. You guys can take a look at that. But this is what Yukon Striker looks like. It is very similar as far as colors go to Valravn. The setup is similar to Valravn. I do believe it is the sister of Valravn. Yes, it is. It is the sister coaster to Valravn. It's almost identical, actually. Somebody please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm doing this 100% on my own, not enough research beforehand. So I do apologize if I offend anybody for trying to test my knowledge and trying to see what I know, what I can compare, what is similar. Oh, look, there's even a wind seeker in the background because that's just what all Cedar Fairs have, right? Right? I don't know. I've only been to Cedar Point and a little bit of Kings Island. I've been to Canada. Never been to Canada's Wonderland. I've never been to California at all. I've been to Virginia, but I've not been to King's Dominion. I've been to Dollywood, but that ain't... This Platinum Pass for Cedar Fair is not going to get me into Dollywood. And another coaster we're going to go ahead and look at. We're going to take a look at one of the wooden coasters. We're going to look at Ghoster Coaster here. Ghoster Coaster opened in 1981. It is a wooden coaster made by Philadelphia Toboggan Coasters Incorporated. Designer was Curtis D. Summers. And back when some of these parks had a Warner Brothers theme, such as Flintstones and Scooby-Doo, this former coaster was Scooby's Gasping Ghoster Coaster until 2009 when they renamed it. It's 1,356 feet in length, 41 feet in height, has a 39-foot drop, travels at 35 miles per hour. You can kind of see why it's more of a family-oriented coaster. But it also is a very nice design to it. It is very well done. It's got Peanuts theme to it because, as you know, Cedar Fairs are based off of Snoopy, Charlie Brown, Linus, Lucy, all those kind of themes. And it's definitely something that looks family. It looks almost kid-like, but it's definitely family-based. Backing up real quick just to show you guys, this is kind of a little bit of what Canada's Wonderland looks like according to RCDB. And if you notice, these photos are taken by actual people and they do have the copyright on the bottom. Man, I wish I could go this year. It kind of looks really pretty. We are now heading to the Carolinas with our next Cedar Fair, Carowinds. And Carowinds is very amazing, according to a lot of people I've talked to. A lot of people really like Carowinds. They say it's really cool that it's split between the two Carolinas. They've got a lot to it. It is definitely one of the nicer Cedar Fairs, from what I've heard. Carowinds currently have 14 running coasters, including Afterburn, Carolina Cyclone, Carolina Gold Rush, Copperhead Strike, Flying Cobras, Fury 325, Hurler, Intimidator, Kitty Hawk, Nighthawk, Ricochet, Vortex, Wilderness Run, and Woodstock Express. And if you notice, I've got a couple of these listed in purple. The ones listed in purple are those that were chosen for the roller coaster draft. So this is where I've gone 9 times out of 10, because there are a few times I know things, or if they're non-coaster based, I have to go somewhere else. But 9 times out of 10, RCDB is where I get my information for the roller coaster draft when I was making those videos. We're going to take a look at two of the rides we've got here. One of them is going to be Afterburn, which is a B&M steel inverted coaster. It is listed as an extreme coaster. Initially, it was planned to the movie Godzilla, as I've said before, but instead they based it off of Top Gun, the jet coaster, until they renamed it to Afterburn. It is 2,956 feet in length, 113 feet in height, travels at 62 miles per hour, has 6 inversions, and has a 2-minute 47-second duration. And this is what the coaster looks like. So I'm not going to go through all 30 photos because that's absolutely way too many photos. But this is what the coaster looks like. We're going to go ahead and head back, and I'm going to choose another wooden coaster because I seem to be going back between the themes of wood and steel. They've got two. They've got one that's a family, which is Woodstock Express, which you'll find at a lot of Cedar Fairs. And the one we're going to look at, which is Hurler, which is an extreme listed coaster once again. This is a wooden sit-down extreme triple out and back coaster. So a single out and back is when you go out, come back in once. Let's take a look at this triple out and back. So this is kind of what it looks like. It goes out, looks like 3 times and it comes around. Somebody please correct me if that is wrong. That's kind of what it looks like to me. Oh yeah, nope. It gets wider and wider. Yeah, it's definitely a triple out and back. There's no doubt that is accurate right there. It is 3,157 feet in length, 83 feet in height, and travels at 50 miles per hour for a 2-minute duration. It is still not bigger than the Beast at Kings Island, which will probably be the wooden coaster we look at when we travel there. It is time to travel to my home park of Cedar Point, where this year they'll be getting a new Wild Mouse coaster. And at the end of the video, I'll talk probably more about the Wild Mouse because there's a lot of Facebook posts that I've seen, and I'm not sure if any of those photos made it onto RCDB. But this doesn't exist anymore. This photo no longer exists. They got rid of that a while ago. There's a lot of photos on here. They got rid of stuff because I'm like going through memories. I remember going to Cedar Point for the first time, and a lot of these rides I recognize and they're not there anymore. It is 2023 and so much has changed. Some of these photos are for like 2015 and stuff. Jeez. I'm not that old. I can't be that old. I'm only 24. So much changes within those years. We do have a new spinning Wild Mouse Zamperla coaster coming in 2023. It'll be open on opening day, which is May 6th. So if you're going to opening day, I hope to see you there because I will have lots of photos and hopefully videos to share. This Wild Mouse coaster is definitely close to being done. I will have more photos near the end, but this was the original design of it. And they're actually moving other rides around to go around it, such as one of the Matterhorn rides and one of the Scrambler rides to give it that old fair feeling. Zamperla is starting to come back with a lot of rides. And when this came out, I made a bet with Kenny joking around, not knowing anything about coasters at the time, just a little bit from what he's been teaching me. And I joked and said, watch it be a spinning mouse coaster. If you want verification, you can ask him. I can call him and we can get verification. Do you remember when we were talking about it and I jokingly said it was going to be a spinning Wild Mouse?
Yeah, I do remember that.
That was like what, the day before?
It was the day before.
There you have it. Would have had more of a conversation, but he was checking out at Sam's Club. So this coaster is 1,312 feet in length, has a height of 52 feet, and is going to be 35 miles per hour. If you're somebody who gets motion sick easily and spinning is not your forte, do not recommend Wild Mouse. Do not recommend it. So let's take a look at some of the other coasters that are operating right now. we've got our wooden coaster Blue Streak, and it is plaqued because it is one of the oldest coasters. Actually, it is the oldest coaster at Cedar Point. Cedar Creek Mine Ride, Corkscrew, Gatekeeper, Gemini, Iron Dragon, Magnum XL 200, Maverick, Millennium Force, Raptor, Rougarou, Steel Vengeance, Valraven, Wilderness Run, and Woodstock Express. I could go through and talk about a lot of these coasters, like how Magnum XL 200 Aero was the tallest hyper coaster and broke records at first when it was first built, or how Wilderness Run was Gemini Junior, but Gemini was a racing coaster and Wilderness Run was not. But we're going to take a look at two coasters for right now. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go to Rougarou. And originally Rougarou was Mantis. This coaster is okay. I'm not always going to get the hit coasters, but it's okay. Rougarou is a floorless coaster, and before it went through a whole change, it used to be a standing coaster. And this B&M coaster is still listed as a stand-up coaster in RCDB because it was transverted. Rougarou is listed as extreme, and by extreme, probably extreme pains. Aha! Let's look at some of this information. Rougarou was initially Mantis to be named Banshee. In Irish folklore, a banshee is a female spirit whose wail was said to foretell a death in the family. After the definition was printed in a local newspaper, the Banshee name was dropped in favor of Mantis. The original Banshee logo would later become that of Dorney Park's Steel Force. A rougarou is a werewolf-like creature in French folklore. So if you want some more etymology and notes, it's right here on our RCDB page. It changed from Mantis to Rougarou by 2014 and 2015. This coaster is 3,900 feet in length, 145 feet in height, travels at 60 miles per hour, and this is a little bit of what it looks like. As you can see, it's no longer a standing coaster. I wonder if they have any of the old photos from when it was a standing coaster. So you can see the old Mantis logo here. And yeah, there they are standing. So Mantis used to be one of the few standing coasters, and this used to be the color scheme that it was. So I thought I'd bring up a little bit of history that I kind of remember growing up. And we're going to go ahead with Magnum XL 200, since I've already brought it up for its record. It was announced in October of 1988 and listed in the park in 1989 as only 201 feet versus 205 feet until they came across the blueprints. It's got 5,106 feet in length. It travels to where you can see Cedar Point shores, which I remember that used to be Soak City, and I feel like Cedar Point used to name a lot of their water parks Soak City. Travels at 72 miles per hour, and it is a classic steel coaster. It's a nice classic coaster. And depending on what seat you're sitting in, you can have either the smoothest ride of your life or the bumpiest. And depending on how many friends are joining you, it can either be the quickest or the slowest. So this Aero Hyper Coaster is definitely a very nice one to hit. I like it. I'm always going to keep going on it. It's a classic. We're also going to just bring up Top Thrill Dragster is listed as standing but not operating. I'm going to come talk about that and Wild Mouse at the end of the video, as I stated earlier. There's a lot going on with Top Thrill Dragster. They're looking to retheme it. They're redoing it. They're going to fix it up. But Top Thrill Dragster is not going anywhere. Stay tuned.